All right, so we got more news with the Celtics, but this time it's involving the Charlotte Hornets. Gordon Hayward has been traded to the Charlotte Hornets for a 4-year, $120 million deal. Again, this was reported by Adrian Wojnarowski. Mario, man, I don't like this. I don't like this deal at all. I don't know about you, but I don't.
Personally, I don't think it's a problem that the Hornets got Gordon Hayward. I think it's more of a problem of how much they got him for. And like you said, 4 years, 120 million. Do I think he's worth that? In my opinion, no. But again, you never know. He could prove us wrong. Personally, I think since that injury that he had in his first year in Boston, I don't think he's lived up to. I don't think he's lived up to the hype. So, with that being said, it's tough, man. I mean, like maybe the Hornets felt like they needed something. Maybe they see something in Gordon Hayward that we don't. But remember, his career season, he had 21 points per game. He had 5.4 rebounds and 3.5 assists, and he didn't make an All-Star game that year. So maybe they're trying to spark up what was left in Utah. In Utah, I couldn't see him being that great. He was a good player, but I don't think he was that great. And then when Celtics fans got him, they were extremely happy to get him, and only to find out about that injury only to see that injury that he had, which was a horrific injury. And I'm glad that he recovered from it. But since then, like, I don't think he's really been productive. I mean, the year after that injury, when he came back, he had 11 and a half points per game. He had 4.5 rebounds and he had 3.4 assists. And then last year, he had 17 and a half points, 6.7 rebounds, and four assists. So it's not that all-star game work that he's equipped to having. But I think what they're looking at, I think maybe one thing that Charlotte's looking at is like every single year since that injury, those last 2 years he's improved and he's done nothing but improve. Kind of like Jason Tatum, except he's not as, in my opinion, his stats don't show more than Jason Tatum's. But they're looking at the stats and they're probably looking like he's improving every single season. So if we can take him and we can add him to our system and make him a key piece like he was in Utah, he could produce those types of stats that he had in Utah. However, the problem with that is I do agree that them giving Jason Tatum that extension over Gordon Hayward was a smart idea, because in 3 years, Jason Tatum has proven how big of an asset and how important he is to the Boston Celtics organization and that team. And Gordon Hayward has been proven that he is an important addition, but you can always replace that addition with somebody in the draft or somebody in free agency, no matter what that is, somebody younger. So, I mean, I think he's a good player for the Hornets. I just don't think he's worth 120 million like he was projected to get or reported to get.
No, I agree with you. I mean, again, like you said, you can't really blame him for not producing that well with the injury, but at the same time, you're coming back, you're healthy, you got to do your job, and he just wasn't doing that. Like you said, in the 2018, he played 72 games, 25.9 minutes, 11.5 points per game, field goal percentage of 46.6%, 4.5 rebounds and assists 3.4. That's okay, but it's not great either. You got to raise those stats up. As for 2019, he was a little better, but I mean, still 17 points per game, field goal percentage of 50%. But then when it came to the playoffs, he just was not. He was not the Gordon Hero we all expected. Let me explain something to you. All right, I don't know what Michael Jordan's thinking. All right, and this kind of proves a point that you and I have said, not on the show before, but definitely outside of it. Great players sometimes become the worst executives. And I'm telling you right now, a perfect example of that is Michael Jordan. I don't know what this man's thinking. All right, 4 years is all right. I wish Gordon Hayward the best. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be bad, whatnot. But if I'm being honest, he's definitely one of the more injury prone players in the entire league. And you're gonna give him $30 million for 4 years. I don't know what this man was thinking. Should have gotten him for West, but it's whatever. The deal is done and done. But I mean, I wish Gordon Hayward the best. I just don't like the deal. I think he'll be somewhat of a good asset in Charlotte. But obviously, the Hornets are a mess right now, so they need a lot more than LaMelo Ball and Gordon Hayward to get their struggles out of the way. But I mean, I wish him the best of luck.
Well, before we end this topic, one thing in order to like defend Gordon Hayward and everything, one point I would like to make is that you also got to remember on this Celtics team, you're looking at Kemba Walker, you're looking at Jason Tatum, and you're looking at Jaylen Brown. Those are three good scorers on that team. Okay. So basically, Gordon Hayward was the fourth option, adding 17 and a half points per game. So I don't think that's too bad. Now, here's the thing. You put him on Charlotte and you make him a second option to maybe LaMelo Ball, or you make him like a third option even to Devontae Graham, then you can get some points out of him, you know? You can turn him back into that 21 point per game guy. Now, efficiently, how well was he scoring with that 21 points per game? He was averaging 40, he shot 47% from the field goal. So I mean, it wasn't that great. But again, you could still get that 21 point per game Gordon Hayward back. And is he going to be an all-star? In my opinion, no, because I think that the players now were so much statistically, they've been showing so much more than they did back in 2016. But you could get that guy again, you know? And I think Charlotte knows, like, hey, whether he's a third option or a second option, it doesn't matter. We can still probably get him to 21 points per game. Maybe he can prove himself to be worth $120 million. But as of now, like with the stats that he had and everything, he wasn't a big talked about guy in the Celtics. Was he an important asset to the Celtics? Absolutely, he was, you know? Like, I mean, I think he was, but again, he's gonna have to prove that he's worth that money. And only the future will tell. So good luck to him. Good luck to the Charlotte Hornets organization. And we'll see what happens this season.
Absolutely.